boxing skills are sublime. No doubt he's pound for pound one of the best on the planet Earth. Crawford is the real deal.
Honestly, like, as of right now, I think Bud to beat Canelo. It's not gonna switch. There's nothing that's gonna change what I feel.
Terence Bud Crawford can't beat no Canelo Alvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now.
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman didn't hold back on Canelo Alvarez. They said he's not as great as fans make him out to be, and that Flaw could get exposed against Terence Crawford. In their view, Crawford's sharp boxing skills and smooth movement are on another level, something Canelo simply can't deal with. They believe this weakness could make Canelo look overrated and lead to him getting dominated on fight night.
Back in the ring with Terence Crawford? Not too soon. Maybe you take a year off and then come back and work your way to the 154, 160 division, and Terence Crawford be there and y'all want to meet again. That's cool. That's cool. But you don't need to be going back in the ring with him this December. I know that much.
Stephen A. Smith ripped into Canelo Alvarez, saying he's way too dependent on power punches. He argued that Canelo thinks brute strength is enough to win, but that won't work against Terence Crawford. Crawford lives off skill, movement, and precision, and Stephen made it clear. You need way more than heavy hands to beat a fighter that's smart. In his eyes, Canelo's predictable power-first style will collapse against Crawford's superior boxing IQ.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes,
Who gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, stronger fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
Always prepared.
He's always ready. He's always
that.
prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster.
Max Kellerman broke it down straight. This fight is skill versus strength. He says Terence Crawford's jab is one of the sharpest in boxing today, letting him control distance and pace with ease. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez's jab isn't what it used to be, forcing him to lean more on raw power and counter shots. Kellerman believes Crawford's precision, timing, and ring IQ could cancel out Canelo's size advantage, proving that brains and skill might embarrass brute force when these two finally clash.
Crawford. Best defense. Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Timothy Bradley Jr. lit a fire with his take. He compared the doubt Terence Crawford is facing to the same hate Muhammad Ali once got before fighting George Foreman. Back then, everyone swore Ali couldn't handle Foreman's size and power, but Ali shocked the world with brains, strategy, and toughness. Bradley says it's the same story now. Critics claim Crawford can't beat Canelo Alvarez because he's smaller. But Bradley insists greatness isn't about size. It's about skill, mindset, and preparation. And Crawford has locked in a full year just to beat Canelo, showing he's ready to silence doubters the same way Ali did.
They said Ali couldn't beat George Foreman. Yep. They said that Jack Dempsey couldn't beat Jess Willard. Yeah. 6'6", Jess Willard, 250 plus pounds. Little old Jack Dempsey knocked him out. Yeah, they saying Terence Bud Crawford can't beat no Canelo Alvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez. It's not gonna even be a fair fight. I promise you that. It's not gonna be a fair fight, because the minute he get acclimated to that punching power, it's gonna be over for Canelo Alvarez. Yeah, that wide swinging left hook, them big looping right hands. Oh, he can straighten that right hand. You don't think they're gonna be ready for that? Crawford and his team are the best in the business. Yeah, best in the business. Crawford has trained for this for an entire year. 1 year for one man. Thinking about him every day when he's out there grinding, watching video, studying film. Yeah, everybody talking about the weight. Ooh, the weight, he too heavy. Chill, it was weight classes for a reason, and all of this crap. Man, you think greatness is just built on just being comfortable? Greatness is built on being uncomfortable. Yeah, before we even landed on the moon, it was an idea, right? It was an idea. And then they brought it to life, and we landed on the moon. I know there's some conspiracy theories out there saying that we didn't land on the moon, but you know what the hell I'm talking about. You get it? Yeah, we talk about size. Like size is everything. What about skill? What about mentality?
Bernie the boxer shut down the talk that Terence Crawford is too small for Canelo. He said people keep underestimating Crawford's size and presence, but his wins at higher weights already proved he can handle bigger guys. Bernie made it clear, Crawford isn't some reckless smaller fighter moving up. He's smart, calculated, and knows how to deal with size. To him, the fight won't come down to who's bigger, but who's smarter. And Bernie believes Crawford and his team outthink Canelo's camp, which could be the real edge that flips this fight Crawford's way.
In the gym, but have you seen the best Crawford under the lights, you think?
When they say the best Crawford, I don't know. I like all Crawfords, how you do. You know, that's what makes him a dynamic champion. You know what I'm saying? The best Crawford is what it takes to win. You know what I mean? Now, some fights are more interested than others. As far as, like I say, the fight with Klimov was a kind of a slow fight. You know, and maybe the Madrimov was a slow fight. Benavidez was kind of a slow fight until he knocked him out. But he was doing a lot of great things in there, so... Buzz fights, they always excite. You never know what's going to happen in those fights. So the best Crawford he's always at his best.
PHX Patriot, thank you for the $2. Get the likes of BNB, best in the biz. Something when Bud walks Canelo down. No way he's too small. Fire. Let's go Crawford.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people do say that. A lot of people are saying that they don't think that the walking down situation will happen because of the wrestling background, the grappling, the tactics, you know, the balance and stuff like that. Stuff that Bud knows how to do because of his, wrestling background. What would you say?
Man, I don't know nothing about no wrestling background. I mean, he did wrestle for, but he was not no national champion wrestler. He was not no real high school wrestler where he was wrestling all his years in high school. He wrestled. The man is just a freak of nature. He's an athlete. You understand? That's what it is. So his specialty is boxing. Okay, now he's strong as an ox. That's where his shit coming from. So they're not wrestling. It's not gonna be no fucking wrestling. You feel me? He's doing strength and conditioning training. He's strong as an ox, like we already know that. His hands is like baseball.
And there you have it. Experts breaking down
Canelo
why this
Alvarez
fight might not go the way Canelo's fans expect.
In his own words,
but what do you think?
Crawford as a
Is Crawford really about to expose Canelo, or will size and power prove too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe for more boxing breakdowns and debates.